So how do we, as businesses, navigate employees through these challenges, especially when different employees often want very different things? Hybrid working has a huge part to play in this. Flexible working, it's becoming for many more in the salary. It's so crucial actually that, as I'm sure you're aware, the government is reviewing that right to request flexible working, bringing it down from half a year to day one in a new role. But you add to that the downsides of getting that hybrid working balance, disengaged talent, a negative impact on company culture and loyalty, the lack of problem solving, lack of idea sharing, and difficulties in spotting issues. These are all challenges that we face as leaders. But there's loads that we can do to support employees as businesses, from getting more social and investing more in that induction onboarding process. And that's the crux of it. As we are finding our way to the new normal, real results come from what businesses do, not in what they say. And companies that can provide creative solutions and an innovative path to an alternative working environment may just find that they can better retain talent, strengthen company culture, and really create that space for their employees to thrive. And there are 5 ways to well-being and to being well. Social relationships are critical for promoting well-being. Setting aside 5 minutes just to find out how somebody really is, and of course how they feel about hybrid working. Being active. We all know that regular physical activity is associated with lower rates of depression and anxiety. Taking notice of how colleagues are feeling or behaving can really strengthen and broaden awareness, as well as enhancing self-understanding. Continued learning through life enhances self-esteem, it encourages interaction, and it leads to a more active life. And giving. Individuals who report a greater interest in helping others are more likely to rate themselves as happy. So employees should be encouraged and given the time to practice these 5 ways to well-being, because the benefits of well-being reach the individual, of course, but also their colleagues and the wider business. My top tips on supporting employees right now as they're getting used to this new normal is talk to them about how they feel about life and about hybrid working. Empathy. Remind them that they are not the only ones feeling anxious. Everybody has been challenged by this massive shift in how we work.
If I could just pick up on a little bit of that quote that was on the screen there around allowing everybody to bring their best self to work. Now that obviously means different things for different people and for different leaders. And one of the things that I'm very passionate about, and we're very passionate about at the Dudley, is remembering that best self, that employee is a human being with needs of a human being. Us as leaders, us as HR people are human beings. So what does that mean when we want to take a human approach to well-being? And we've been scratching our head on this question for a good couple of years actually, in terms of how do we tailor this to an actual human experience? Could this be seen as superficial? If we've got employees struggling with workload or struggling with menopause or struggling with anything else that may be going on in their lives, is a yoga class really going to help them? Probably not. So we took what we believe to be quite a human approach, and we mapped our employee life cycle from a perspective of what experiences do human beings have in their life. So we may get married, we may buy a house, we may have children, we may go through a bereavement, we may go through menopause, we may go through baby loss. So the kinds of events that any number of our employees may experience throughout a long employment with the Dudley, we really try to go, okay, let's look at performance management, let's look at absence management, let's look at variety of other areas in the HR agenda and say, well, if we put a wellbeing lens on this, what would we do differently for our people? So this is all really trying to bring together the customer experience and the employee experience by putting human beings' needs at the heart of what we do. During particularly the 3rd lockdown, we recognised that what our people needed was completely changing, and our current policies and processes may not have supported them. So, okay, what do? Let's pull a team together and keep asking ourselves this question. What do our people need right now from us? At the time, they needed community. They'd lost that social interaction. They needed support. People were going through bereavements, they were having COVID, they were going through a variety of different life experiences. They needed the ability to be able to be listened to and have that element of support, and that might be from their leaders, from ourselves as HR professionals, or from an external body. It went beyond that though, in terms of traditional supportive strategies. We had people with kids at home. What they needed was a break, and I'm sure we've all felt that, particularly through the third lockdown. We saw the age demographic of our people, and about 25% of our people were actually living between the ages of 18 and 24, 25 and living with their parents. That their independence had been taken off them. They couldn't go out at the weekend. And we really worked with our leaders and worked with our people to understand the circumstances that our team were in, have really good quality conversations about what do they need right now. And we were able to base our interventions on this. So for the parents who needed a break, we organised daily Zooms where we'd do reading clubs, and we had one of our people read to their kids to give our parents a break. We did dance classes for children, we did activities. We did activities for those adults who had lost a bit of independence. We'd sent out a variety of different gifts for them. And again, tried to create that community and socialisation through different means. We obviously offered flexibility in location. We offered flexibility first approach in terms of what needed to happen. And we were able to create this ongoing dialogue, again, based on this trust and respect. Our people and your people don't come to work to do a bad job. They come to work to fulfil what our organisation needs of them. And they deserve that respect and trust back. And if we can treat our people through this human approach, I firmly believe that they're not going to take advantage of that. The feedback from employees was really strong in terms of we're going above and beyond the employee's responsibility here because we genuinely care about our people, we care about our members, and we care about our employees. And these were the kind of things that we did to actually demonstrate that that was a genuine care for our employees' needs.
And this is why we need to help our employees improve their resilience. They'll be more motivated, they will tend to look into the future, they will see the bigger picture, and they'll give their best every day. They'll be more confident and have more self-belief. For many people, COVID has upended that feeling of confidence and security that they had in their future. But they've got to believe in themselves, and now more than ever they need reminders of their achievements. Tell them they're doing great, keep reinforcing the positives. Tailored coaching is a really good way to help employees quieten that negative voice on their shoulder, in their head, and overcome those patterns of unproductive worry that erode confidence and self-belief and job performance. And they'll start to embrace change rather than fear it. It's really important. It's a key part of resilience. It's that ability to be flexible and embrace change. Adaptable employees respond far better to crises, and they store that experience in their bank to draw upon in the future. They'll be better problem solvers. They understand how to reframe situations, and they find new ways at looking at old problems. And they'll be more engaged. They'll have stronger relationships, stronger networks, all essential tools for individuals as they're working through. So I know we can't control everything that happens in the world of work. Of course we can't, but good employers will strive to help their people to develop that resilience that they need to deal with the huge changes that we are seeing at work, transformational changes, and in the world that we live in. Don't leave your employees to cope alone.
If I was to reflect on this over the last 12 months, our biggest challenge really was how our leadership team adapted. They understood this in principle. They understood the human approach in principle. But then when that actually meant intervening in a different way than they may be used to, we still found leaders would come to us and want us to point them into the direction of a written down policy, where they'd come with a very specific people issue, and our reaction would be, have you had a conversation? And they'd say no.
Yes.
And that was probably both the biggest challenge, but also probably the most rewarding success as well, once we'd overcome some of that. And it's not something we overcame overnight, and I wouldn't say we're there exactly right now, and it's something that we're still developing, and as I say, Hanover is still supporting us with that in raising that leadership standard.